Good afternoon. What is globalization? Well, globalization is the process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and governments of different nations. It is a process driven by international trade and investment, aided by information technology. This process has effects on the environment, culture, political systems, economic development, and prosperity, as well as human physical well-being in societies around the world. Now, globalization is not new. The term might be relatively new, but the concept behind it is not. For thousands of years, people, and later corporations, have been buying and selling from each other in lands at great distances. For centuries, people have invested in enterprises in other countries. In fact, many of the features of the current wave of globalization are similar to those prevailing before the outbreak of the First World War. Policy and technological developments of the past few decades have spurred increases in cross-border trade, investment, and migration so large that many observers believe the world has entered a qualitatively new phase of economic development. Distinguishing this current wave of globalization from earlier ones, author Thomas Friedman has said that today globalization is farther, faster, cheaper, and deeper. Now, this current wave of globalization has been driven by policies that have opened economies domestically as well as internationally. In the years since World War II, and especially during the past couple of decades, many governments have adopted the free market economic systems, which vastly increases their own productive potential and creating a myriad of different opportunities for international trade and as well as investment. Governments have also negotiated dramatic reductions in barriers to commerce and has established international agreements to promote trade in goods as well as services and investment. Taking advantage of new opportunities in foreign markets, corporations have built foreign factories and established production and marketing agreements and arrangements with foreign partners. A defining feature of globalization is international industrial and finance business structure. Now, technology has been the other principal driver of globalization. Working for AT&T, I see that manyfold. We have international partners who come in and invest in tablets as well as phones and other things in technology to communicate internationally for their own business and to start their own production. Advances in technology in particular have dramatically transformed economic life. Information technologies has also given all sorts of individual economic actors, consumers, people buying products internationally from international nations, investors as well as businesses are valuable tools for identifying and pursuing economic opportunities. Faster and more analysis of economic trends around the world are at everybody's fingertips from technology, as well as easy transfers of assets, collaboration with partners across the world through such things such as Skype, tablets, laptops make talking to somebody and communicating with them from another continent that much more easier. Back in the days when you had to fly to go meet somebody, it makes it a little more harder to do a deal, not to mention very costly. Now, proponents of globalization argue that it has allowed poor countries and their citizens to develop economically and raise their standards of living. However, there's a flip side to that. Opponents of globalization claim that the creation of unfettered international free market trading only benefits multinational corporations, seemingly in the Western world. Now, at the expense of local enterprises, local cultures, and common people. Resistance to globalization has therefore taken shape at both popular and at the government levels, as people and governments try to manage the flow of capital, labor, goods, and the ideas that constitute the current wave of globalization. Now, in my opinion, to find the right balance between benefits and costs associated with globalization, citizens of all nations need to understand how globalization works and the policy choices facing them and their societies. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time. Talk to you soon.